talk about your family in Minnesota.
In Minnesota.
Yeah, let's talk about growing up in Minnesota.
I hated it.
Did you really? Why?
I hated it. It didn't agree with me. You know, Minneapolis, the Twin Cities, is an amazing cultural center, which a lot of people outside of the Midwest don't realize. Like the theater and the comedy scene and the music scene. I mean, that's where Prince came from. And, I mean, we have... That's it.
But the
no.
comedy
But we have so many cool... We have a lot of, like,
great
amazing...
comics from there.
So many comics come out of Minnesota.
Good.
And I'm telling you, it's the oppressive religion. It's the long winters.
All the walleye, maybe.
It's got you have to have a sense of humor coming out of that state because it's just. I still don't understand why people stay there. They love it though. The winters are just. When I go back there and I'm like, you know, you've got like a giant coat and hat and gloves and you're still freezing and you're scraping your car off and you're slipping on the ice and I mean it's insane. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. I don't miss it. The mosquitoes, the humidity, all those Lutheran churches.
All right, yeah.
I don't miss it at all. No.
So how about your family? Big family?
No, I mean, like, not huge, but I grew up in a family of 6 people. I'm the youngest of 4 kids. And then we grew up in the suburbs, like the upper class, like white suburbs of Minneapolis. And
your dad, he was a pilot, right?
My dad was a pilot. He's retired. My dad's almost 80 now, so he's been long retired. But he was a pilot in the Navy, and then he became a pilot for the no longer Northwest Airlines. Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just forgot what it's called.
They're based out of
Northwest. Yeah, they're based out of Minneapolis, which is now basically Delta. So Delta bought Northwest a long time ago. So he was a pilot, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and then she worked on and off part-time, like, throughout the years. But she's amazing, like, seamstress, and I always call her, she's very crafty. My mom is very crafty. But she's an amazing seamstress. Like, she makes dresses and costumes and bridal veils and all that kind of stuff.
Did any of that
really
transfer to you?
Kind of. I mean, she definitely taught me a lot of that stuff. I mean, I knew how to sew when I was younger. My parents gave me a sewing machine for my college graduation.
And that was good? Like, hey, this is great? Or was it saying...
No, I used it like a couple times a year to like hem pants or something. And then when I moved out here, I literally went through a period of time where I moved every year for like 6 years in a row or something. Because you just like get a different roommate or cheaper rent or whatever. Move with your boyfriend. I was so sick of moving that sewing machine because it's heavy, you know? And so I finally sold it on Craigslist, I think. Because it cost me $10 to go have my pants hemmed at the cleaners. And I keep schlepping that thing around just to hem a pair of pants a couple times a year. So, yeah. So I love that kind of stuff. This is the honest truth, and I kind of like am a little bit in the closet about this, is that I think in my former life or in my next life, I'm just going to be an old lady because I love to do old lady things. Like, if I could just sit around and do jigsaw puzzles and play Scrabble and, like...
Baking?
Do needlepoint. I love to bake. I'm really good at baking, too.
Yeah, we're going to talk about...
Anybody who knows me will attest to this. I am good at baking. I bake some bomb shit.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
Pies and cookies are probably my specialty, and then make really good cakes too.
Well, you didn't mention this that I do know about you, and I think it's quite interesting. You're adopted, yes?
Yes.
And so you're adopted, and then is your family, are all the kids in your family adopted?
All but one.
Okay.
And then my mom was actually adopted too, which I sometimes forget as a piece of the puzzle, because I don't know how your parents are like, but like my parents, maybe a generational thing. Your parents maybe are like kind of similar in age. My parents are like around 80. So
yeah, my dad's 85. My mom's 81.
So they're similar. They're the same generation. Like, they didn't really tell us anything about their lives. Like, their past is still a mystery to me. Yeah. I don't think that was common to just share personal stuff with your children. Like, it was a little more like, we're the adults, you're the kids.
Yeah, and even now, they're reluctant to share anything really deep. They tend to, like, change the subject quickly.
And, yeah. And I always just sort of attributed that to the Midwestern whiteness, you know, like the Lutheran, like, evangelical whiteness. But I think it's very generational, too. You just don't, not that you're airing dirty laundry, but like personal things are just personal, and you don't really share them with your kids. So there's still a lot about my parents that I don't really know or understand or whatever they're... Who are they? Jen and Harold Anderson.
How about that, friends? Isn't Amy Anderson great? Hey, plenty more coming up. This was a long interview, and they're all worth watching. I thought I was going to cut them shorter, but they're just all so good. So I'll just be posting them on a more regular basis. Next episode, we'll be talking about her dad. His experience, he was hijacked. So great story. You are going to love it. So that's the next episode. After that, we'll be talking about adoption, the international adoption industry in particular. Going to be talking about Amy's food blog as well. Social issues about racism. We're going to get into that. She has a lot of really thought-provoking things to say. You're going to enjoy this. You won't be wasting your time watching this, okay? So we'll see you on the next... We'll just keep watching cool people I know or meet, but this series with Amy Anderson is particularly thought-provoking. So hang with it, all right, friends? All right, take care. Until next time, we'll see you. Bye.